Hi, welcome to Auntie's Parenting Tidbits, life hacks for the perfectly imperfect parent. Today I'd like to talk about how to discuss race and race relations with your kids. It's a really hard conversation to have, and I think the best way to have conversations that are difficult with your kids, especially if you have young kids, and I think you should start talking about these things with your kids when they're young, is to introduce it with a book. So I'm going to give you some great books to start introducing race relations with your kids, especially young kids. I've got 5 really good books about race, about different cultures that you can start introducing to your kids. Kids as young as 2, all the way up to, I would say these books are probably good for up to 10 to 12. Um, these books are available at Amazon, Target, Walmart, Barnes and Noble, Target. I will post links to the Amazon ordering and the Walmart ordering on my page, on my website, and on the description for this video. The first book that I would like you guys to check out is called Let's Talk About Race. It is by Julius Lester. This book is all about race. It's a gorgeous picture book. It is got wonderful pictures in it, and it's all about racial identity and what it means to be a race, what it means to be proud of your race, and it will give you a sounding board for questions and ways that you can answer those questions, and it'll give you a great starting point on how to talk to your kids, give you a great way to start the conversation. Sorry, I have a 2-year-old over here pushing on me. The second book that I have is called Seeds of Change, and it is by Jen Johnson. It's called Seeds of Change, Planting the Path to Peace. It's another picture book. It has the most beautiful pictures in it. It's illustrated by Sonia Sadler. It brings to life the empowering story of Wanjier Mathali. I am butchering this name, trust me. The first African American woman and environmentalist to win the Nobel Peace Prize. An engaging narrative and vibrant images paint a robust portrait of an inspiring campaign of land and of women's rights. It is a beautifully drawn book and a beautifully written book, and it will give you much to talk about with your kids, and I am sure they will have lots and lots of questions for you to answer. And again, it is okay if you get to something that you don't know a lot about in it, and it's a great way to tell your kids, I don't know, and you guys look up something together, which I highly recommend. If you don't know something about what you're reading in the books about her life, look it up together and learn some more. The third book I'm recommending is called Layla's Lunchbox. It's by Reem Fahiki. I'm sure I'm butchering his name also. And it's a Ramadan story. And it's about a little girl in a new school in a new country. She's excited about Ramadan, but she's nervous about having to do Ramadan in a new country and not understanding how to do it. So her entire class does Ramadan with her. And it is, again, it has really beautiful pictures in it. And it's a really lovely story. And it'll give you lots of things that you can talk about with your kids about learning about different cultures. It's a great sounding board for you to go and look up different things about Ramadan to learn about it with your child. And again, I will post the links to how to order these books off of Amazon and off of Walmart, off on my webpage and on my on the description and on this video. The next book is called Marisol McDonald Doesn't Match, and it is by Monica Brown. It is about a little girl who is of mixed race, and she mixes everything. You know, her socks don't match, her clothes don't match. She has red eyes and brown skin, and she doesn't feel like she needs to pick one race over the other. And it's all about her journey of not choosing one race over the other, choosing to be both races. So, especially if you have a mixed race child, I don't believe that a mixed race child should have to choose one race over the other. I feel like they should be able to learn about both races because they're not more one or the other. They are both, and they should be proud of being both. So, this is a really good story about that. It's a really good story to teach your kids about kids who are both, and that you can't just look at somebody and say you are one thing, because really, truthfully, none of us are one thing anymore. We are all mixed with different things. So this is a really good story. It has really beautiful pictures. It's really beautifully written, and it is a great sounding board to talk about that, because as all this stuff is going on and more celebrities are coming out about how they are mixed and how they are either white passing or African American passing, is shocking people, and we shouldn't be shocked. We are all people. So this is a good way to discuss these things with your kids. And the last book is called The Ninth Ward. It's by Jewel Parker Rose, and it's about Lanisha, and she's a victim of the Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans, and it's about her story about how she survived that. And it's a really beautiful story about the hurricane coming in, breaking the levees, the flood, and how she and her family survived that. It is a great story about another culture. New Orleans is a culture within itself. She's African American. It's about something that a lot of younger kids don't even know about Katrina. They don't know about that affected African American that affected African Americans in poor African Americans in that part of New Orleans, and it tells about her story. So they'll get to learn about a whole different uh, subset in the United States. It is beautifully written, and it has great pictures in the book. It is a great story, and everyone from 2 to 12 will enjoy this story. So I highly recommend it. It will have great questions. It'll have great points for you to look up with your kids for things you didn't know happened, because it's told from her point of view. So I am almost positive if you were not following the news, there will be things that you didn't even realize happened in it. So there'll be great things that you can look up with your kids and say, you know what? I didn't realize that was there. Let's look that up and learn more about it. It is great to tell your kids when you don't know something, and you guys can look it up together. They love that. So those are my picks for starting boards to talk about different races and different cultures. For different races and different cultures. And that is the best way to teach, especially a young child, about a different race or a different culture, is through reading, through books. Gives them ways to ask you questions. It makes it easier to start those difficult conversations. Makes it easier for them to comprehend, because they have something solid to look at, to understand it, not just hearing it from you. I am now off of my soapbox, and I will post the links to these books in the comments, not in the comments, in the description, and we'll be seeing you. Bye.